What's worse than being burned alive?
What if the fire was started by your favorite video game companies?
From undelivered promises to expected technology, this is Josh with Weasel PC, and here are 6 times the gasoline was thrown and matches were struck by major players in the video game industry. Number 1. Watch Dogs. When presented at E3 2012, Ubisoft showed the world a super clean, highly detailed look at their latest game. It had beautiful lighting, hyper-realistic weather effects, and supreme colors. At release 2 years later, players weren't given this experience at all. Though the story and gameplay were seemingly tight, the graphics were as loose as MC Hammer's pants. Tuned down textures, shaders, lighting, and weather effects left players wandering around in the settings menus looking for a magical hidden slider that they must have missed. Modder the Worse did end up finding the settings, as they were still intact within the game files, just disabled, and for good reason. Enabling the features slowed the game to a crawl on most gamers' PCs, but new mods have since optimized performance on a wide variety of systems. Come on, Ubisoft. You could have done this. What's the number 1 rule of sales? Always be optimizing. Number 2. The Division. Just 1 year later at E3 2013, Ubisoft announced yet another groundbreaking title, promising a tactical, squad-based online looter shooter sprinkled with light RPG elements, all taking place in a highly detailed post-apocalyptic New York City where everybody clearly communicates and coordinates.
Hey guys, what's up?
Hey.
Oh, what's up, Chris? Welcome to the battle, dude.
Alright, group buff coming your way.
Good, thanks.
Nice.
Hold on, ooh, I'm getting shot at now.
Yeah, go around the back.
Alright, moving.
The disappointment wasn't up front and center this time. Finally released in March of 2016, the game looked good, was fun to play, and had a thriving online presence. No, the letdown came about 30 to 35 gameplay hours later when players started reaching max level and found that there was nothing to do. Sure, the PvP zone in the center of the map would reset and offer up different challenges and loot, but all it amounted to was shoot this bullet sponge for 20 seconds, shoot that bullet sponge for 25 seconds, wait a little bit, shoot another sponge for 30 seconds. To their credit, over the next couple of years, Ubisoft sent out updates that fixed most of the complaints, but just a little too late for most, as the numbers of online players declined fast, and only saw small bumps near the months that updates were released, just to crash again, which left the post-apocalyptic New York feeling as empty as, well, a post-apocalyptic New York. Number 3. Fable. Oh, Mr. Molyneux, how you've let me down. Let me count the ways. Prior to release, Lionhead Studio founder Peter Molyneux was the conductor on one of the largest hype trains ever to leave the station. Promising and talking about features that seemed way too good to be true, because they were, he got gamers all hot and bothered over trees that would drop acorns to sprout new trees, getting shacked up with a wife who would bear children that would be an important character later on in your character's life, and even being able to poison the town's water wells or trap people in their houses, then burn them down! Though Fable was a fantastic game with unique visuals and gameplay elements, hardly any of the features Petey Boy promised were actually in the game. It was almost like he would think of something live on stage, say it, go back to the studio to a nervous staff who would tell him,
Yeah, we can't do that. You're gonna have to go back out there and apologize when this game's finished.
This would all leave players in a state of depression that could only be fixed by taking our actual sons into the actual woods to quietly watch trees grow in actual real life. But I'm not going outside. How dare you try to get me to leave my couch? Number 4. Kinect. Slow off the trails of a hugely successful Nintendo Wii, Microsoft wanted to cannonball into the lake of motion controls. But 4 years after the 2006 release of the Wii, the lake was now in a gated community, and they had to go down to Walmart and pick up a kiddie pool to dunk their little tootsies in. The technology presentations seemed astounding. Full body motion controls without actually wearing or holding any other peripherals. And that's what gamers actually got. Microsoft actually delivered. for half the price of the Xbox 360 at $150.
You are the controller.
There were a few hiccups, such as input lag, the cameras losing you randomly in the room, a game thinking your cat was your right foot, but overall it worked pretty well. But there wasn't much to do with it. Developers were just not interested in implementing the Kinect into their games. So most of what you could do was dance, ride a raft, dance, get a red card for swearing, and dance some more. The system integration was probably the most used feature, by yelling at your Xbox to pause and play DVDs. But when it didn't work, it was frustrating enough to make you want to dance your way over to the nearest window and throw it out into the street. Number 5. Fallout 76. Shouldn't really have to say much here. Fallout 76 was going to be the penultimate light survival open world sandbox online multiplayer RPG. That's a lot of words. But that sandbox ended up being filled with concrete. Sparse with enemies, full of bugs and glitches, and players whose only story they wanted to create was, I saw that guy, and I killed him. I killed him, good. The game
doesn't just work.
They plopped some sloppily written multiplayer code into an already buggy game engine and hoped for the best. Did I mention that the game was empty? There was really hardly anything to do other than get murdered after spending days building your home that would randomly disappear and take all of your loot with it. Bethesda has since released a major update titled Wastelanders that added a more engaging storyline and also NPCs. But when I brought it up in conversation with a few friends, they immediately said no, before I could even ask if they were going to play again, and then switch topics to something else completely. Sorry, Bethesda. I tried as hard as you did.
Which isn't saying much.
Number 6. Duke Nukem Forever. Announced in 1997 as a follow-up to 1996's womanizingly fun Duke Nukem 3D, Forever was plagued in development hell with resets, restarts, and workforce replacements and layoffs, until finally being released 14 years later in 2011. Being published by 2K Games, they had people foaming at the mouth with anticipation over the years, dropping little snippets of information at multiple events, until giving a real, hard, solid release date that was promptly changed and delayed again.
This is bull.
Then, we actually got it.
Hell yeah, baby! Duke's here, and he's ready to kick some more ass and chew some more bubblegum.
Anytime now.
I'm gonna kick so much alien ass. Here we go! Damn it!
DNF was immediately put down as a terrible game, with reviewers and players citing long and plentiful load screens, abysmal AI, and graphics that looked like they stopped updating them in 2005. To say this game was a letdown is like saying that geese are only mildly off-tempered jerks. It was not fun, it wasn't pretty, and it wasn't funny. The jokes seemed to be written in 1997, put into a sealed package, and then handed to John St. John while holding a gun to his head, screaming,
You'll love it!
In the end, 14 years of hype just to be burned. When something takes that long to get to a finale, everybody expects something a lot better.
I'm looking at you, Game of Thrones Season 8.
So that's 6 video gaming hype trains that hop the tracks. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like and subscribe for more, and check out our main content where we delve into the history of pornography in video games, and how they get together and make a little itty bitty baby, and get angry at random number generators. I'm Josh with Weasel PC, and you've been beautiful.